Alrighty, guys, let's get this daily review or recap. Wednesday recap. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, let's get our recap done for today. Today's Wednesday. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. To be honest, today was not a safe day to take a trade. If you were and you got in the right direction, awesome for you. And the reason why I say that is because we actually had in the CPI report that came out. We were talking about our X account, talked about it. We did it on the daily recap. It was part of some of our information we were providing the last couple of days. So this day today, I was very cautious. I built out the charts just like I've always done. Like I showed you guys, we got all our data entered into this, and we're ready to go. And at 8 o'clock, you can see right at that point, we were rejecting this area. But the hard part is we opened with that report. So we had the volume kick in, and then we had a lot of weird movement, that's what happens when the news comes out. And trading the news, one guy says goes up, one guy says go down. You can see that it did do stop hunts, we call it. So these hard wicks is people getting wrecked. A lot of times when I say wrecked, it means they got in, they put their stop down here somewhere, it came down and took them out. Multi times possibly. They thought it was going to go up, then it looked like it was going to go up, and you got some major rejection, which at that point, now we could say this was a good time to start looking for this to break down, but we didn't get the volume really on the breakdown. It just bled on down, and we haven't really got any energy. Now you could, that doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't a good trade. The reason why I say if you got in the trade, depending on how you're reading this, if you wanted volume, you didn't get to see it today. We ran up and got a major rejection. Then we started to fall down. We did bounce right here on the POC, and that's why I would have a hard time taking this trade right here on the rejection of the 21, even though we talked about that. You could also look at the 5 minute during this time. You can see that we lost after we had rejection, we came back up underneath the 21, and this is about where we saw that bounce back up. And we could have looked at taking that trade possibly because we did lose and then we came back through, but you wouldn't want to be looking at taking that trade till we got confirmation of losing both of this. You just went through the bear flag, and at that point you would have been looking for the breakdown of something like this. And I'm using the bear flag inside of your 21 and your 200. You've heard me talk about that on recaps. So that would have been basically that. And that's what I just drew out for you. Here is your levels of your key levels of support and resistance. That's what I'm drawing this wick or this line off of to get direction. And then I gave you the breakout of where the pattern went. You could also have taken the breakout down here on this blue line. Obviously, if you got in the trade, like I was saying, that would have been your breakout. For confirmation or for a safer trade, you could use your high that we were looking at earlier, and 3 to 1, that would have been the end of the trade. Then you can see that it came back up, and then we rejected. Well, why is this red line important? If you're using our trade indicator in the BattleBox system, you can go here, and this is from the daily market review. So you got these key levels, and then if we go over to the style, that's the breakdown trigger. So once we broke down through here, you're really looking for it to backtest and have. That's where you would have been wanting to enter your trade. So if you were looking at this and you got in based on what I was just talking about with those key levels back here, and then you saw this break through here on any time frame, it doesn't really matter, but on the 15 minute, you can see we broke down, had a hard run. And if you did a 3 to 1 or a 1.5 to 1, you would have been out of this trade. Going back to the 5 minute, you saw it come back above the 21 here, and that's where you would have exited right here. That would have been a 2 to 1. So those are all areas I had to take this trade. Then you saw it come back up here and hit this rejection line, which is perfect because you'd already broke it here. So ideally, we want to see this backtest right here and give you the entry, and then would be on the next breakdown. So this would have been your backtest. And now you could say, hey, you know what? I'm going to wait on this. I want to make sure that we break back through that 21, and I'm going to go ahead and get my trade ready right here. And you can see that it's everything always backtest, if you will, right? And that's classic trading. Here's your breakout of your 21. Here's your backtest. And now we're starting to trade down. So that you could have entered here. It's the same spot we entered here. You could have also entered on this backtest based on this breakdown. I'm just showing you all the different areas you can get in the trade. Any of them are good or a high probability of trades. So obviously, if you took this one, you're looking for a 3 to 1, you'd still be sitting in it. A 1.5, you always hear me talk about it because the market always moves at 1.5. So even if you did this, you got the 1.5. This obviously you would probably go a little higher for your stop, at least above this breakout. So you wouldn't quite be at the 1.5 yet. But just to kind of show and point this out now, this has a high probability of falling. You heard me talk about the time frames. If I jump out to the 4 hour, just to kind of show you more strength in this and what I'm looking for when we look at higher time frames, is we do have a 21 coming up, a moving average, and it keep bouncing there. Obviously, this 4 hour right now, though, is the MACD has crossed. So that's bearish. This is rolling over. That's considered bearish. we have this still trending down. That's bearish. So you can see that if we're going to break down, more than likely we're going to start to go down to these lower levels and look for support in those lower areas. We did mark our weekly candle, sorry, and we did to mark that out. So we know this is going to be a key level of support. This was the high from last week. So that would be a key area that we'd be looking for this to bounce back up. You can also see the high here, the POC, and the low, and that's from our last week as well. So more than likely, we could easily come back down and backtest this area. It'd be a strong area to backtest just from our last week and our weekly candle high. Those are all key levels that we talk about in the smaller trade. So I'm looking at a bigger time frame here to point that out. And we're also on the 4 hour. So the 4 hour and the weekly go together. Now the 1 hour has already lost all that. So we're really looking for the 30 now to cross over this 50, which those lines would turn red for us to show a breakdown. As you can see, we're looking at the time frame of the 1 hour, and you have the 200 moving average down here and the 21 up here. These two like to be together, and then they like to get away from each other. So you can see here they were close together, and then they pushed away, and you saw price action move, right? So now they're coming on price actions above, the 21's above price action, and you can see us starting to break down. More than likely, this is going to want to at least come down somewhere in this zone. So if you're looking at trades, there's levels and targets, just pointing out to the bigger time frames. And then we go back into the 15-minute, and I'm just showing you how to look at targets and levels and why are we marking out all these areas and trying to find support and resistance. So you can see here, it's been tight here on the 15-minute. What are they doing? They're starting to push away from each other, and you're seeing price action follow as well. So that is about it for today, guys. It was kind of neat to see some news and how you could just stay away from the news and ready for a trade with confidence and not be hurt by news. And I don't know how many of you have been hurt by news, but I know I have. Lost many trades because I tried to get in thinking it's going to go up or thinking it's going to go down, and lost money due to that. It's always nice to let the market tell you when to get into your trades. So that's about it for today, guys. It was a great Wednesday. We'll see you guys in the next recap for Thursday, and we'll break this down some more. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.